Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are doing the fourth, I believe, Vinegar Syndrome May 2020 or May 2022 package from the subscription. So we are still on the May package. There are a lot of great releases, and I just finished one today. It is a double feature. It is the two films called Horror High, directed by Larry Stalfer, I believe, and then Stanley, that is directed by William Greffe. And Horror High came out in 1973, and Stanley came out in 1972. Stanley was made in the, I guess, Florida swamps, and what's it called? Horror High was made in Texas. And both of these movies are 1970s era cult films, very low budget, regional. It is full of no names, people you've never heard of before. But what was interesting about Stanley was that Lloyd Kaufman's brother, Charles Kaufman, was an actor in this film. And I looked it up, and I was looking all over the place trying to figure out, if there was a reason why he was in this movie, and I couldn't find any info about it. But his name is on the, I guess, the title credits. So it was really weird. I just want to get that out of the way so I can focus on the review. But the first movie I watched in this double feature was Horror High, and this is a movie that is about a nerd in high school who runs the biology lab, and he is concocting all these different potions and just weird chemical combinations. They don't really go into the details of it, but he is bullied by everyone. He has a gym teacher who thinks he's nothing. He has a literature teacher who is constantly belittling him and telling him, oh, you should have known that this thing was due, or, you shouldn't have misplaced your lab report and then your literature report, because he turned in his lab report instead of a book report that he was supposed to do. And she gave him an F and tore up both of those reports, even though that was a semester project that he had for biology. And so she's awful. His gym teacher is awful. His classmates call him Creeper and bully him relentlessly. And he finally perfects this potion, I guess, to turn his pet hamster, or I guess a class hamster, Mr. Snuffles, I think his name is. Mr. Mumps. So I was close. Mr. Mumps gets given this concoction and turns into a monster, but it only survives for about a minute. And then the janitor comes by, and he has a cat that kind of keeps down the rat population. And the rat is killed by the guinea pig, by the monster guinea pig. And so the janitor kills the guinea pig. And then, because our main character nerd, I think his name is Lenny or Lennon? Not Lennon. Vernon. Okay. Vernon drinks the concoction and turns into like a wolf man looking guy. He's right here, right there. And he kills the janitor. And slowly and surely, throughout the entire movie, he gets these revenge experiences by killing everyone who is trying to, just make his life hell. And I really enjoyed this movie. I had a really fun time. It is not the best made movie. It is directed by, let me get the exact name, Larry Stalfer. So I was, I guess, right on what his name was. But this movie had it all. It was just entertaining enough that I did not get bored, which I can't say the same about the other movie, but Horror High had some really great sequences. It would be a really great double feature with The Toxic Avenger by Lloyd Kaufman. And the kills were great in this movie, although they were a little low budget. Uh, I really enjoyed kind of the revenge aspect of it because you do really get to settle in to what he has to live with every day and the bullying and just all the shit he has to deal with. And watching him get his revenge was very satisfying, honestly. But, it is just a movie, so I don't recommend anyone to turn themselves into a wolfman and get their revenge. That would not be good. But I was hoping for a little more with the undead guinea pig or the monster guinea pig because that's what it really focused on the description when I read it during the unboxing video. I really thought the whole movie was going to be him telepathically communicating with the guinea pig and slowly killing his rivals. And that doesn't happen. The guinea pig, again, is killed off very quickly, and I was a little disappointed by it. I mean, the movie's still great. It was fun, really fun. I didn't even look at my phone really at all the entire movie. But I was really hoping that it would be like that. Maybe like a Phenomena by Dario Argento type of deal. But it wasn't, and what we got instead was still good, but I really wanted the undead guinea pig killing everyone. It has a little bit of American Werewolf in London, actually, come to think of it. And if you've been wondering the last few videos why my shelves have been empty, I just got a new shelf over there on the far wall over off screen, I guess. But all my Arrows and Criterions and my 88 films are over there. My 88 films movies released by 88 Films. And I'd rewatched American Werewolf in London recently because I did a trade with Cult Flicks Fix on YouTube, who we do a lot of the Withering Watchpower episodes together. And so I was rewatching it because it's been a few years. And this movie, Horror High, has a lot of plot similarities to I guess the second half of American Werewolf in London. It's actually kind of funny to compare that, but I guess a good triple feature would be that, Horror High, and Toxic Avenger by Lloyd Kaufman, a Troma film. This fits right in. It's very goofy, very schlocky, quite campy. Made in the 70s, so you have that really amazing cinematography where it's very grainy. It isn't very fast moving as it becomes in the 1980s with like the Sam Raimi movies, the Evil Dead series, and all the other, I guess, crazy, films of the 80s. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I really enjoyed Horror High. I think it's worth it, this set, just for Horror High, but the set also comes with Stanley, a William Grefé film, who he is from the the Everglades, I guess is what it's called in Florida, the big giant swamp. And the entire movie is about a guy who is a Seminole Indian from that tribe, I believe, and he has just come back from the Vietnam War, and this was made in the early 70s, so fresh on the minds of America. And he comes back from Vietnam War, and he's a Native American living in the swamps, and he's just taking care of snakes now. He's has been getting visited by hunters of snakes. We get your typical villain of a rich white guy who wants to kind of buy him off and buy all the dead snakes that he can get. And we get a little mystery in regards to who killed the father of our main character, and it is resolved very quickly. We know right away who killed our main character's father, and throughout the movie, he gets to know kind of the town. A lot of them have a history with him, a positive history. And there's like a burlesque show boy that's happening in the swamp of Florida, and nobody is coming because it's not convention season. But I wouldn't say it's that close to horror high. I think this movie is more of just a character study than anything. It's not much of a creature feature film because Stanley, our main character, is the snake. His name is Stanley, and he helps our main character kill those who are trying to bully him and oppress him. And this movie's runtime is stretched quite a bit. I think the idea that a snake breeder is, well, it's not really breeding, he's just taking care of snakes. I love the idea of him doing that and using them as a revenge tool. But there are many scenes of people wandering the swamp and him showing up and having a interrogation and then him letting them go, and then much further down the line of the movie he finally gets the revenge. And I feel like the middle 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, because it is an hour and about 50 minutes or so, it could easily be trimmed down, in my opinion. And this is a director, William Grefé, as I mentioned. And Era Video just released a big box set of his films, in a box set called He Came from the Swamp. And I've heard those movies are really good. He's a regional cult exploitation director. And he's a blind spot to me. This was the first movie, at least, my first intentional movie of his, the way I knew going in that it was William Grefé, that I watched. And after watching this, I'm at least interested in his filmography. And I enjoyed the character work. Our main character is entertaining as fuck to watch. He is so much fun. He is constantly getting the upper hand in any situation that he finds himself in. I'm not a big snake fan myself at all. I don't like, at least bigger snakes. Small snakes I'm fine with. But once they get to be a little thicker than, thicker than my finger, I don't like it. I don't want to be anywhere near snakes. But this guy, I don't know who the actor is. I looked him up while watching the movie during one of the slow parts. And he's not in much else. He's in a TV show called General Hospital, I believe, from the 70s to the 2000s or something like that. And he was arrested on tax evasion. That's really all I know about him. But he is just constantly handling these giant snakes the entire movie. You could not convince me to do any of that. I could never be an actor in a film regarding snakes. I think they are disgusting. I don't know how. I understand the basic science between how snakes move, but I like creatures that have arms and legs and can move in that regard, or fish where they use the fin. I don't get how snakes move. I don't like it at all. I hate snakes. Even going to the zoo, I skip the snake exhibit every time. But my favorite movie from the 2000s, the schlockiest one, is of course Snakes on a Plane. That's really the only snake movie that I'm not repulsed by while watching it. But this movie made me sick at many different points because we get very close footage of snakes biting people, biting actors. We have people feeding mice to the snakes, which I understand, whatever, part of the, I guess, the food chain. But, oh my gosh, I can't handle that. I don't know how they did it. William Grefé is a crazy man. They murder multiple snakes on screen too, which I wasn't really comfortable with. But I think for the most part, it's just entertaining enough that you can watch this and not be really that bored. there could be some trimming. We have a good set of villains in this movie that you really hate. You really root for the guy, for Stanley Zona, and it's wonderful. It just needs some trimming, but I'm trying to think of anything else to say about these films. I did do a double feature back to back watch of them both, and I just finished about 30 minutes ago, and I was just kind of thinking about it, thinking about the movies, and I was like, oh, there's really not much to talk about, but I think I hit my, I guess, my goal of my reviews, which is about 10 minutes or so. 15 minutes if it's like two films, so, and I'm at 15 and a half, so that's all for today. I have two movies left in the package. We have Thriller, A Cruel Picture, which I'm probably going to save for last. I don't know if I watched both cuts of the film. I watched the original one that everyone loves, or at least people love the re-edit without the hardcore scenes. But I'm going to watch the one with the hardcore scenes, because that's how the director made it originally. I always go for that director's cut on what they say was the final cut and what is closest to the vision. And before I do that, though, I want to do Cloak and Dagger, which isn't part of the subscription package, but I'm actually really interested in the film because it sounds like Deadly Games, aka Dial Code Santa Claus, which is one of my favorite movies. It's like one of like 5 or 6 movies that I call perfect, and it's very similar in premise to that, so I am very excited to watch that. I do apologize too with the lateness of my Vinegar Syndrome sale haul, but I have a really fun idea for it, and I'm trying to get it together for you guys. So we'll see when that can be done. I'm hoping next week. I have a very busy week actually for work, but I think because of how busy it'll be during the day, that they may let us off early. I don't know, because we have a lot of big meetings, regional-wide meetings. So, okay. That is all for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure to like the video, comment, tell me what you think of these movies if you haven't seen them, and definitely subscribe if you like the content. I have been really wanting more participation in terms of the channel, because the more people that are participating, the more people that will discover and become part of the community, and that's always a good thing in my opinion. The more the merrier. And before I stop, I will be on the There Is No Book Club live stream tomorrow, talking about book 2 of The Expanse, Caliban's War. So I'll try to put a link up somewhere, probably on Instagram, showing where that can be watched. But there will be spoilers for book 1 and 2 of The Expanse, which I haven't read any books after book 2. I'm still actually reading book 2. I'm about 80 pages away from finishing, so that's my goal tomorrow before the live stream, is to finish the book so I can make it. But that is all for today. Thank you all so much for watching.